Alrighty, good morning. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. My name's CJ. This is the CJ Curry Show, your live NBA player prop show presented by PrizePicks. If you're not signed up with PrizePicks, make sure you get signed up, guys. Your first deposit, they're going to match it up to 100%, meaning dollar for dollar. Anything that you put in, they'll give you an instant deposit match. So all the way up to $100, you put in 50, they'll give you 50. You put in 100, they'll give you 100. Take advantage of it. Link down in the description below. Promo code Curry. Get you that offer. Had a pretty good weekend. How about you guys? Did pretty well with some NFL, did some NBA as well. Hit a lot of we'll call them double ups, but 2x payouts on Prize Picks. A lot of 4 for 5s. Could not get that elusive 10x payout, both in the NFL and the NBA. I did hit a 10x last night, late one on some NBA, but yeah, pretty profitable weekend overall. And I think our Discord was definitely popping off. So if you're looking for a community, a group of people to join, like-minded individuals, guys, we've got it going with Patreon. You can help support the show, what we do here every day, by joining the Patreon. Discord's completely free. We've got bots in there to help you with your on-the-fly player prop research. I've got news feeds set up for all the sports. It's pumping in all the latest intel and information about the NBA, NFL, etc. So links to all that stuff down in the description below. But yeah, we had ourselves a pretty darn good weekend. So I appreciate everybody who's showing out and showing up this morning, starting with Dave Jones. He says, "Hey CJ, happy Halloween and go Astros." I don't know if I'm on the go Astros train. I'm think I'm pulling for the Phillies. I think I'm pulling for the Phillies. What are you guys thinking in the chat? Do you guys not care? Are you going for the Phillies, the Astros? Let me know, chat. No Limit says, happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to everybody out there as well. I hope you guys have some fun tonight. Sweating out some NBA picks on Prize Picks, and maybe get some candy. Maybe it's more treats than tricks. That's what we're hoping for anyway. Scared money don't make money. That's right. Young Lito says, let's make some money, boys. Derek Bouchard says, I made $2,000 this weekend with CJ's help on Friday. Hey, Derek, I appreciate you tagging me out on Twitter. I saw you had at least 3 picks that we talked about in our last show. We ended up going 3 for 4 on Friday on picks that we discussed. So congratulations to you. I'm glad that this show is turning a profit for somebody out there. I'm glad that my time is not going to waste completely. Tamari says, let's go. Jimmy Green, treat us good Monday. Jay to the Rome says, like and lurk. Hopefully they post all the props when CJ goes live. Yeah, I'm here to take all your questions. So basically the format of the show is we'll try to solve today's dribble puzzle of the day. We'll get into some NBA news and info, and then we'll take a look at a few players and picks that I'm liking today, and then we'll take your Q&A, your questions, and hopefully I can provide some answers toward the end of today's live stream. Rumsey says, Fox is the thumbnail. Yeah, Fox is the thumbnail. I decided to go with the Sacramento Kings. That should kind of tip you off to where my head's at today. That Kings and Hornets game looking like a pretty good one. Ronald Green with the what's up. Appreciate that. Anthony Ruiz says, Money Making Monday. Sign up for Patreon tomorrow to enjoy the full month. That's true. That's very true. First of the month is the best time to sign up for Patreon if you have not yet. We're fully underway with NBA and NFL, and we even got NHL. Our NHL channels have been definitely hot, so shout out to Effin' Props Guy, our resident NHL guy. He's holding it down, man. Appreciate you. King United says, very profitable weekend in the NBA. Chris Raptors here. Let's freaking go. 704 God says, I'm on the Patreon. I should have joined the Discord. I did awful yesterday. Yes, Discord link is in the description below. Make sure you get joined up to the Discord and then link your Patreon and Discord accounts together so you get full access to everything, all the channels inside of Discord. Everyday Fantasy says, greetings to the family. If you're not part of the Patreon, you're making a grave mistake. Big up to everybody. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're liking the Patreon community. Mr. Don P. Young Lito says, Discord had Thanksgiving last night. Love it, Young Lito. Throwback, CJ's Patreon is greater than. I like that as well. Bearded Gator says, F the Astros, go Cards. I hope the Phillies win since they knocked us out. D'Angelo's in the building, had a great week. Last week, quintupled my bankroll. Well, that's huge. Jojo Rabbit's leaving some pumpkins. Appreciate that with the Halloween spirit. Slow and steady. How much is Patreon? It's just $20, man. Just $20 a month. You support the content. You support the show that I get on here and do for free for you guys every single day. You get access to a big community of player prop individuals who are, doing the research, sharing the information, sharing their favorite picks and slips. I mean, it's like a family atmosphere, all right? No egos, no BS, no drama. Just a couple of folks Trying to help each other out. All right. You could win that $20 back with one $10 two-pick power play. All right. And then you're free rolling for the rest of the month. So if you can't win $20 in the entirety of a month, something's wrong. You're doing something wrong if you can't win $20 and cover the cost of Patreon at just 20. All right. That's the way I look at it. One $10 two-pick power play and the freaking thing's paid for. So anyway, Osmosis Jones in the building. Shout out to you, Tyrone. What's up, CJ? Good weekend for the group. Let's keep it going. Absolutely. NBA starting to heat up. George Gonzalez says, good morning. Taylor says, let's get it. Justin says, can I get a Go Bills? Hell no. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan. All right. We run not only the NFC, but we run the NFL. Shout out to the Eagles fans out there. Big game yesterday. Absolutely dominating, crushing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, it was a sight to behold. I'm super proud of my Philadelphia Eagles. But let's take a quick glimpse at our winner circle inside Discord. Guys, I want to, shout out everybody who won money. I want to make sure that we're giving credit where credit's due. Lots of different winning slips. I mean, I'm seeing everything from NHL to, geez Louise, NBA, you name it. I mean, the community was on it. So let's run through these real quick. I'll pull up our winner's circle, guys. This will just give you a little taste, a little glimpse as to what you could possibly be doing and winning if you, were part of the community. Like I said, just $20 a month. Link down in the description below if you want to join. So let's take a peek. All right, winner's circle here. We got Brock leading the way with some NBA winning slips. Anybody whose name is in red, that is a Patreon member, okay? Anybody whose name is in red is a Patreon member. So you see Brock absolutely crushed it back on the 29th a couple days ago. Had himself a good night, a train of winning slips. Koyo, Discord member, not a Patreon member, but a Discord member. Effing Props guy, I talked about him. Really sharp with the hockey picks, all right? So he's doing his thing, holding it down for us in the NHL channels. Don P, one of our gold members. All right, one of our NBA sharps and experts. I mean, you see all these slips that Don P is on. He's sharing the info. He's helping the community eat day in and day out. We got Rocket Sauce with a couple of nice winning slips. Zipper Slayer doing his thing. Kyle Kaz posting a train of winners. There I am. All right, I got some NBA picks in there that ended up hitting, ended up working out for me. 4 out of 5. Almost had the 5 out of 5. We'll get them next time. Ben's in the building. We got Kips. Look at all his winning slips. DFS JR doing his thing. One of our MMA guys. He's really super sharp with the MMA picks and stuff. You see his long list of wins. He shares a lot of his favorite picks in our Discord as well. Effing Props guy once again. Greg doing his thing. Shout out to Don P showing up again. Sniper Honcho. Greg. Effing Props guy. I mean, these dudes are just banking. Mark H. Bearded Gators doing his thing. There I am again with another winning entry. Sniper. There's Rocket Sauce saying shout out to CJ. He won $250 on that one. Nice hit, my friend. Shout out to Rocket Sauce. There's my man, Mr. McGrew. Mr. McGrew coming through with a $50 hit. All right, so you kind of get the idea. I mean, I could run through this all day long. Taylor Gangus getting a winning slip in there. Tony's getting his winning slip in there. $360 by Calvin Ridley. Cashing in on Luka Doncic and Keegan Murray, all right? So, yeah, all these guys just banking, man. $240. So that's what you have to look forward to when you join the Discord, when you're a part of the community and you're tapped in. Appreciate the new subscriber, Frank. Welcome aboard. All right, let's play some Dribble. Enough chitter chatter. We got to figure out how we're going to connect Vince Carter to Derrick Rose. All right, two OGs, guys who have been in the league for a very long time. Vince Carter obviously just retired a couple years ago. Derrick Rose still in the league, but both of these guys have a long tenure in the NBA. I mean, Vince Carter going all the way back to Toronto. Then he played for the Nets. Then he went on to play for the Orlando Magic, the Phoenix Suns, the Dallas Mavericks, the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, Vince Carter's been around the block, all right? He's played for a lot of teams. Derrick Rose, same thing, Chicago Bulls, right? Then he ended up going to the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the New York Knicks. So how do we connect these two guys? Well, the first thing that I always think about is like, what is a player that maybe both of these guys played with? Both of them have played with a lot of players, in fact. But who is a player that maybe both of these guys have played with at one point in time? Is there one? I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking the last couple of teams is about as far back as we need to go. So maybe like Vince Carter in Dallas and then Atlanta. Maybe Derrick Rose when he was with the Cavaliers, T-Wolves, Knicks. Joakim Noah. Did Vince play with Joakim Noah? Ooh, I don't know. The two players are Vince Carter and Derrick Rose. Vince Carter and Derrick Rose. We have to connect Vince Carter to D Rose through mutual teammates. This one's challenging. I'm going to let you know off the top of my head. Like, this is tough. This is super tough. I'm trying to think of some of the guys that Vince played with, right? Actually, you know what? I've got a guess here, and it might be a bad guess, but I'm going to guess it anyway. What about Tyson Chandler? Did VC play with Tyson Chandler when they were both in Dallas? Maybe. And then I'm thinking Derrick Rose and Tyson Chandler, maybe in Chicago early on in Derrick Rose's career. I'm going to go with Tyson Chandler as a first guess. That could be completely wrong. That's wrong. Close. Taj Gibson? No, I'm not liking Joakim Noah. I'm kind of off of Joakim Noah. But no, Tyson Chandler was not it. Even though he did play for Dallas, did play for Chicago, just wasn't there at the right time to be teammates with Vince Carter or Derrick Rose. Carlos Boozer? I don't think Vince Carter and Carlos Boozer were ever teammates that I can recollect, that I can remember. I guess Tyson Chandler, not Tyson Chandler. It's definitely not Tyson Chandler. I mean, who else was Vince teammates with? I'm thinking Dallas. I'm thinking maybe Atlanta. Who was he there with in Atlanta? Trae Young. Trae Young and Derrick Rose, never teammates though. John Collins. I don't think John Collins has been with Atlanta the whole time, so I don't know. Jay Crowder, wild guess. Kyle Korver, Richard Jefferson. Ooh, did Richard Jefferson and Derrick Rose ever cross paths in their NBA journey? You know what? They might have. You might be right. So Vince Carter, obviously once a member of the New Jersey Nets. Richard Jefferson was once a New Jersey Net with Vince Carter. But then we got to think about Richard Jefferson at one point was playing with the Cleveland Cavaliers toward the end of his career. And so was Derrick Rose. You might be onto something with Richard Jefferson, Neville. I don't hate that guess. Let's go with Richard Jefferson. I think you might be right, bro. No. All right. Not an exact guess, but it does get us a step closer. So now Vince Carter's out of the picture. Now we have to connect Richard Jefferson with Derrick Rose, and I think our job just got a little bit easier because Richard Jefferson once a Cavalier, right? Derrick Rose once a Cavalier for a brief stint, short period of time. What about Dwayne Wade? Was Dwayne Wade there in Cleveland with Richard Jefferson? I know LeBron was, right? I think LeBron was. It is LeBron James. Bang, bang. LeBron. The king. All right, so that was pretty darn good, guys. We got a 2-game streak going. It says we could have gotten there quicker if we would have guessed Cam Reddish. Yes, because Vince Carter played in Atlanta with Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish, now a New York Knick, playing alongside Derrick Rose. Cam Reddish would have got us there just a little bit quicker. But we'll take it in 3 guesses. That's not too shabby. Not too shabby. All right, gang, appreciate your help solving that. Now that our brains are warmed up, let's talk about today's NBA slate. Kind of a medium-sized slate on Halloween. Happy Halloween to everybody out there. Drop a like on today's live stream if you're happy for Halloween or if you're just ready to make some money on this Monday. Philadelphia at Washington is the first game. That one tips off at 7 p.m. Keep an eye on Joel Embiid. He is a game-time decision. Over on the Washington side, we've got Kispert as a game-time decision. We haven't seen him yet this season, and Wright is going to miss quite some time for the Washington Wizards. This one's got a pretty low total, 216.5, 5.5 point spread. Sacramento at Charlotte. This is going to be one of these games where I think we're going to target some overs, taking the more on some different player props. I got a couple of guys that I want to talk about from this game, but we do have to pay attention to the Charlotte news. Terry Rozier, currently a game-time decision, has missed the last couple of games, and also keep an eye on Martin. But the total on this one looks very juicy, 231.5. All right, just a 2.5 point spread. So one of the highest totals on today's medium-sized slate. Indiana at Brooklyn, another really high total here, 236.5 points with Brooklyn as 8.5 point favorites. These two teams just played each other one game ago, by the way. Tyrese Halliburton, going to be somebody we're going to just keep going back to because he continues to get a high amount of usage, right? So the points, the rebounds, the assists. We'll look at some different Tyrese Halliburton plays, try to figure out which one is the best one. Keep an eye on Seth Curry. He did take the floor recently for Brooklyn. He kind of shakes up the rotations a little bit for the Brooklyn Nets. But yeah, these two teams running it back in a game with a huge total of 236.5. So that might be a good one to target. Atlanta at Toronto. Keep an eye on Fred VanVleet because Fred VanVleet was just listed as questionable kind of out of nowhere, out of the blue, right before I went live on today's show. But this one has a 224.5 point total, 4.5 point spread favoring Toronto. That might slip a little bit if Fred VanVleet is out, okay? Detroit at Milwaukee, 8 p.m. tip-off, 224.5 points, a 13-point spread, guys. Blowout alert, all right? Blowout alert, blowout alert. 13-point spread. When will the blowout occur? I don't know. Could be one of those games where by halftime it's a blowout, or by the third quarter it's a blowout. So if you're looking to take any overs or more on the props, guys, pump the brakes a little bit. You might want to make these first half only picks, especially with the veterans, guys like Giannis, Brook Lopez, right? Maybe even Grayson Allen and Drew Holiday. We throw those guys in the veteran bucket. But on the other side of this thing, the Detroit Pistons have a lot of young guys. I think those guys are pretty much immune to a potential blowout. Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart. I think those guys would play into the fourth quarter even if there is a blowout. But I would just say be careful with guys like Giannis, Brook Lopez, Drew Holiday, the vets for the Milwaukee Bucks. If this game gets out of hand by the third quarter, they may not see the floor at all in the fourth quarter. 13-point spread. You've been warned. Let's move on. Memphis Grizzlies at the Utah Jazz, 9 p.m. Eastern time tip-off. Nice total here, 231.5 points. I'm hesitant to take any type of picks from this game just yet. We're waiting on Ja Morant news. He's a game-time decision. He did not play in the last game. In his absence, Desmond Bane had himself a fantastic showing. So if Ja Morant's out again, then maybe we go back to Desmond Bane. I hope Ja plays, but we have to wait and see for the news, right? And then on the other side here, nothing really too crazy or impactful for the Utah Jazz. I mean, pretty much the same cast of characters, but love the total on this game. Love the spread at 3.5, but stay tuned for the Ja Morant news. And then finally, the last game of the night, the Houston Rockets at the Los Angeles Clippers. Keep an eye on Eric Gordon. He is a game-time decision. Bruno Fernando and Ty Washington continue to be out for the Houston Rockets. They're on a back-to-back tonight. They're 1-6. The Clippers probably going to beat up on the Houston Rockets. For the Clippers, got a lot of different names here to keep an eye on. Robert Covington, game time decision. John Wall, game time decision. Kawhi Leonard, already ruled out. Listen, if Covington and or Wall, but especially Wall, is out, I think we have to look Reggie Jackson's way. Reggie Jackson versus the Houston Rockets, just because the Houston Rockets have been allowing a ton of points, a ton of rebounds, a ton of assists to opposing backcourt. So I think Reggie Jackson would make for a fine play if and only if John Wall, Kawhi Leonard are truly out. So stay on top of the news because that's where you're going to find some value. All right. So I mentioned a couple of these games here and potential targets. Sacramento, Charlotte looks like one that I have a couple of players that I'm interested in looking at. So let's start getting down to business here. We'll flex this out here, kind of go the split screen view. Perfect. All right, so one of the guys that interests me is De'Aaron Fox tonight. Why is that? Well, if we just take a quick look at the DVP, defense versus position, point guards, right? Point guards in particular for the Charlotte Hornets, or against the Charlotte Hornets, we should say. You see Charlotte's given up over 28 points per game, nearly 29 points per game. That is the fifth most points allowed to opposing point guards. So is De'Aaron Fox in a good spot today? I think he is in a good spot. So one of the picks that I think I'm liking is maybe his points, maybe taking the over on his points. Now, surprisingly, they're giving up over 7 rebounds per game to opposing point guards as well. And he's done a pretty good job at rebounding the basketball. So we're going to look at both of these and we're going to try to figure out which is the better way to go. Maybe it's both. Maybe we take De'Aaron Fox over on points and we take over on the rebounds. But these are both looking like more type of positions for me as far as where I want to go. But let's dig into it real quick. We're going to be doing some research using props.cash. Shout out to props.cash, 25% off your first month. If you've never used props.cash before, use code Curry. I've left a link for you down in the description of today's video. You could save 25% on your first month, guys. It's just $19.99 a month. Super affordable. You can eliminate a lot of different tabs and windows and have everything consolidated into one friendly, easy to use little dashboard here thanks to props.cash. But let's take a look at De'Aaron Fox, all right? So the Kings have played 5 games this season. So we're going to use the 5-game view here. Fox's line is already set at 25.5 thanks to Props.cash. You can see what his output has been. 33 points, 36 points, 26, 27. And then he falls short against a tough Miami Heat defense with just 17 points in his last game. But you know me, after a flop, I like to go back to a prop. All right, bars. I got bars. So he is 4 for 5 this season. He's averaging 27.8 points per game, and he gets a pretty easy matchup against the Charlotte Hornets. At least that's what it looks like on paper. If Terry Rozier is out, he's probably going to be matched up against Dennis Smith Jr., not somebody who's known for lockdown defense. So that's why I'm thinking maybe De'Aaron Fox's points is not a bad way to go. We scroll down here. Fox is getting plenty of minutes, averaging over 35 per game in his last 5 games. He's also taking plenty of shots. Now, I am a little bit concerned, because I'm starting to notice a little bit of a downward trend here for De'Aaron Fox in terms of field goal attempts, right? He hit a peak in game 2 of the season with 23 field goal attempts, but since then, 20, 19, and 17. So game over game over game, 3 games in a row now, we've seen his field goal attempts start to dip, and I think I have maybe an explanation for that. I think it might be Keegan Murray entering the starting lineup. We'll talk some Keegan Murray in just a moment, but nonetheless, he's still attempting an average of about 20 field goal attempts per game, and he's going up against a team that really just gives it up to point guard. So I'm not too worried about this, but yeah, it's something worth monitoring. Hopefully he's closer to 20 field goal attempts tonight going up against the Charlotte Hornets. This just seems like one of those games that really favors De'Aaron Fox. So there's his points, all right? And then we'll get into the projections for what he's maybe projected to score tonight using Fantasy Labs. But we also talked about, what about his rebounds? His rebounds are sitting at 5, and at 5 rebounds, guys, he's actually doing a pretty good job this season, even with Keegan Murray being in the starting lineup. So if we bump this down to 4.5, you can see he's hit 5 or more in every game, all 5 games, 5 for 5, and he's averaging 7.2 rebounds per game, which is pretty darn good for a point guard. All right. And we already talked about how the Charlotte Hornets are giving up a healthy amount of rebounds per game to point guards. In fact, they're giving up the sixth most rebounds per game to point guards at 7.1. So he's hit 5 or more rebounds in every single game. And he's going up against a team that's given up the 6th most rebounds to the point guard position. So he's got 7, 5, 5, 6, and 13. So he's hit the over on 5 rebounds, if we bump this up to 5.5, in 3 out of 5 games, averaging 7.2 rebounds per game. So a push or better, hopefully. I mean, that could be the situation here. Maybe he ends up with exactly 5, but it's worth mentioning. It's worth taking note. Now, what if we combine the points and the rebounds? We'll take a look at that for you real quick, too. Points and rebounds. He's done a pretty decent job covering this as well. 4 out of 5 on points and rebounds. So if we go to the points and rebounds category, he is at 30.5 on PrizePicks today. 30.5. 4 straight games up until the last game against Miami where he didn't score so well. I mean, he had covered this in 4 straight. And he's averaging 35 points plus rebounds per game. So you got 3 different ways that look very good for De'Aaron Fox. I'll let you choose which one's your favorite. You guys let me know in the chat which one you're liking the most. But you've got points plus rebounds. You've got just as points, or you could go just as rebounds at 5. All right, let's look at some projections on this. We'll head over to the NBA section here. We'll go points, type in Fox's name. So we got Fox at 25.9 projected points. He's at 25.5 points, just like he is on PrizePicks on every single sports book out there. All right, at 25.5, though, we're seeing the betting public all over the place. Some sites like DraftKings and FanDuel, minus 120 to go over. Some sites like BetMGM, betting favorite to go under. So 25.9 is the projection. The betting public kind of all over the place with De'Aaron Fox and his points here. Well, what about the rebounds? Well, he's projected for exactly 5.1 rebounds, slightly more than the 5 that we have him at here on PrizePicks. We talked about him hitting 5 or more in every single game, and he's going up against the team giving up the 6th most rebounds so far to the point guard position. Now, 5.5 rebounds, he's a big betting favorite to stay under 6 rebounds. The betting public, minus 148 odds here. Minus 150 on a site like DraftKings. They don't think he's going to find 6 rebounds tonight against the Charlotte Hornets. All right. And then last but not least, we talked about the points plus rebounds as maybe another way to go here on De'Aaron Fox. 30.5 is his line on PrizePicks. He is at 30.5 on most sites, but the lines makers at FanDuel think 31 to 32 points plus rebounds is a range of outcomes here, 31 to 32. So you could go that route. Because when you compare PrizePicks to FanDuel, you are getting 1 point of value here. He's projected for 31, which is more than 30.5. 3 different ways to play De'Aaron Fox, guys. Let me know in the chat which one of these 3 ways to play De'Aaron Fox is your favorite tonight, going up against the Charlotte Hornets. Again, they're giving it up when it comes to points. Over 28, nearly 29 points per game, and over 7 rebounds per game. 2 point guards. So I think he's in a good matchup here. Let's clear the deck. We'll remove these De'Aaron Fox props, and we'll talk about his teammate, somebody that I've already seen a lot of folks on this morning, Keegan Murray. Now, we got Keegan Murray for more than 16.5 points, but you don't have to take just the points if you don't want to. I've seen some folks who are liking the points plus rebounds as well. Keegan Murray, since being inserted into the starting lineup, has had himself some pretty darn good games since joining the starting lineup. So you could take Keegan Murray at 16.5 points. You could take Keegan Murray at more than 22.5 points plus rebounds. So let's take a look at both of those. So it's really hard to define who's the center for the Sacramento Kings. I would lean more towards Sabonis as being the true center, the true 5 on the Sacramento Kings, right? But, you know, you could make a case that both of these guys are just power forwards. So let's look at the DVP real quick for the Sacramento Kings versus power forwards. So giving up over 17, nearly 18 points per game and almost 9 rebounds per game to opposing power forwards. So that's about 26 points plus rebounds, right? About 26. We'll go to the center position. Now, this is where things really get good here. They're giving up over 20 points per game and over 13 rebounds per game to, I take that back. We're looking for the Charlotte Hornets. Let's back it up. Charlotte's giving up over 15 points per game, nearly 16 points per game, and about 10 rebounds. So about 26 points plus rebounds, all right? Let's go to the center position. They're giving up over 26.6 points per game to centers and over 15 rebounds per game to centers. So that's about 41 combined points plus rebounds. That's quite a bit. So will it be Sabonis? Will it be Keegan Murray? Only time will tell, right? But Keegan Murray seems to be the one that's a little bit more reliant when it comes to scoring opportunities. His rebounds aren't quite as high as Sabonis in most games, but let's take a closer look here at Keegan Murray against the Charlotte Hornets front court. They're not very good. So we'll just isolate the points and take a look at just his points first and foremost. He's at 16.5 here on PrizePicks. You can see that the last 5 game logs only include 4 games because that's all they've played is 4 games thus far. Am I right on that? I think I'm right on that. Yeah, they've only played what? Yeah, he's only played 4 games anyway. He scored 19 against the Clippers, 16 against Golden State, really close but no cigar, 18 against Memphis, and then 22 in his last game against a tough Miami Heat front court. Take a look at the minutes here. 32, 38, 39, and 35, nearly 36. So he's playing a healthy amount of minutes, getting plenty of run here, 36.6 per game. Taking a look at his field goal attempts, 10, 14, 15, and 13. So maybe he is cutting into De'Aaron Fox's production just a little bit. And my man takes some threes, all right? He is a stretch 4 or stretch 5, wherever you want to put him. But he does take some threes, which is a good thing. 6, 10, 8, and 7. He's knocked down 3 to 4 3-point makes in each game. So if you could take his 3-point prop, that wouldn't be a bad look either. So we switch it over from the points and look at just the rebounds. If you wanted to take the rebounds on their own, it doesn't look as good at 5.5. Like I said, his rebounds kind of are volatile all over the place. So that's why I kind of like combining the points and rebounds. Now at 22.5 points plus rebounds, let's look at those. 24, 20, 24, and 23. So 3 out of his last 4 games, he has gone over 22.5 points plus rebounds. And we already talked about the Charlotte Hornets, how they're giving up a lot of points and rebounds to opposing front courts, right? So there should be opportunities for Keegan Murray to score and to rebound the ball, especially when you consider the total being as high as it is at 231.5. That's a big total. 230 and up, is a huge total. That is a type of game where you want to target some overs, take the more on some props, and I think Keegan Murray's in a pretty good spot here. So let's look at some projections here for Keegan Murray. We'll start with his points. Murray, very involved lately. He's at 16.2 projected points. We are getting some value on PrizePicks with just the points at 16.5. Why do I say we're getting value? What does that even mean? Well, what it means is he's at 16.5 on some sites, betting favorite, minus 135 and a minus 130 betting favorite. The higher that number, the better. So if it was minus 150 would be better than minus 130. Minus 180 would be better than minus 150 and even better than minus 130. So the higher that number, the better. So in this case, he is a betting favorite to go over at 16.5. But where we're getting value, what I mean when I say value is that he's at 17.5 on a lot of sports books out there, meaning the lines makers, the guys who make these props, they try to make the props as close to a 50-50 as possible, right? They want to make it a coin flip. They want to make it as difficult on us as possible. They think he's going to go for 17 to 18 points tonight. So when we compare to PrizePicks, who has him at 16.5, he's at 17.5 on all these different sports books. So we are getting a point of value. So that looks pretty decent, right? Let's switch it over to points and rebounds. His points and rebounds on PrizePicks today are set at 22.5. 22.5. He's at 22.5 on most books, but not all books. Actually, 2 books have him at 23.5. So we're getting a point of value here as well. So 22.5 minus 135, betting favor to go over on a site like DraftKings. At 23.5, he's still a betting favor to go over. Minus 118 and minus 120 on FanDuel and PointsBet, respectively. And his projection is 21.3. It's close enough for me to feel okay about it at 22.5. But either which way you want to go on Keegan Murray, whether it's the points or whether it's the points and rebounds, you are getting a point of value on both lines when compared to some of these sports books out there. Are you guys liking the points more for Keegan Murray, or do you want to combine the points with the rebounds and take the over on those? Guys, let me know what you think looks better on these two. And then we'll clear the deck and talk about a third player who's in a really good spot tonight. I think you guys already know who I'm going to. We are talking about a guy who is in a rematch spot here. And there's a couple ways you can go this route with Tyrese Halliburton. His PRA at 34.5 looks pretty good. Or, surprisingly, I'm going to leave the points out. And look at just his rebounds and assists, because both of these have been hitting at a pretty darn high clip so far. We talked about his usage. Totally insane, right? No Malcolm Brogdon to get in his way anymore. Tyrese Halliburton's backcourt. It is his backcourt in Indiana. He is just absolutely dominating. So we're going to look at the PRA first for Tyrese Halliburton using props.cash, guys. Check out props.cash if you haven't yet. There's a ton of NBA features that are in the works that will be dropping on props.cash soon. So if you don't use it yet, you're going to have no reason not to be using it in the future, because they're just going to keep integrating and adding more features, more solutions to help with player prop research. All right. So we're going to look at the last 7 games. Tyrese Halliburton, believe it or not, has already played 7 NBA games in this early stages of the NBA season. Going all the way back to October 19th, 37 PRA versus the Washington Wizards. 42, 38, 35. Falls short against Chicago with just 32. Comes back strong with 39 and 40 against tonight's opponent, the Brooklyn Nets. So again, this is a run it back rematch type of game. Indiana and Brooklyn just played each other 2 days ago. They're going to play each other again. This time it's going to be in it's going to be in Brooklyn again. All right, it's a back-to-back in Brooklyn. But anyway, as you can see, 6 of 7 so far covering his PRA against a variety of different opponents. I mean, a lot of these teams are kind of tough. Some of them are, easier matchups. Washington, San Antonio, Detroit, and Washington again. Those teams are pretty easy, but Philadelphia is not the easiest group. Brooklyn's backcourt, not an overly difficult matchup. You can see he had 40 PRA in that game. As far as the minutes, he's been playing a very healthy amount of minutes. Last 5 games, over 34 minutes per game. So he's at like 34 to 35 minutes. He's attempting a ton of shots, guys. We already know this, 15 to 16 per game. Some games he even gets close to 20. As far as his points output on their own, he does a pretty good job scoring the ball. He's got the green light. Like John Legend, give me the green light. He's got the green light. He doesn't even have to ask for it. It was just handed to him. Rebounds, does a pretty good job rebounding the basketball, 4 to 5 per game. And then the assists is where he really shines. Where he really gets the job done is dime dropping. 10, 11, 12. You see some of the games that he's had. He can reach into the double digit, the dozen number when it comes to assists. So PRA is one way to go, but what if we didn't want to go PRA? What if we wanted to leave his points off and just go rebounds plus assists? This is another viable way to play Tyrese Halliburton today. 13.5 rebounds plus assists. He's hit this now in 6 games in a row. That's why I'm mentioning it. The first game against Washington, he only had 11, but since then, 15, 14, 16, 15, 14, and 14. 6 out of his last 6. Getting the job done in just the rebounds and assists category. All right, so let's look at some projections and see what the models are saying here on Tyrese Halliburton today. Again, this is one of those props where there's a number of different ways to go. I don't think there's a wrong answer here. Maybe you take both and you kind of hedge. Maybe you take the PRA in one entry and then you play just the rebounds and assists in another. You could do that and get kind of weird with it. His PRA is at 34.5. Looking at the different sports books, right? They're all at 34.5, which means we're not really getting any value here. We're just banking on him just doing his thing and balling out. We're not looking at this as a value play, a plus EV play, as some people like to say. This is not one of those. This is a play where it's just, he's just been covering, right? He's just been getting the job done, high hit rate type of play. He's projected for 33.8 PRA. So that's one option. But what if we just wanted to take the rebounds and assists on their own? Well, he's projected for 13 rebounds plus assists. So that could be another way to go. 13 rebounds plus assists on a 13.5 line. He is at 13.5 on DraftKings and FanDuel. He is at 14.5 on PointsBet. So yes, you are getting some value compared to the lines that their lines makers have set for this prop at 14.5. Now, I will caution you, at 14.5, he's a big betting favorite to stay under that number at minus 160 odds. But even if he ends up at 14 is more than 13.5. So we're okay with that. We're okay with him going for 14, because if we take the more here, then that's good, right? So there's a couple different ways you could go on a couple of different guys tonight. So let's build out a couple of 3 picks. I'm going to do a little combining of the ones that we've talked about here. I'm going to go with Halliburton rebounds plus assists. We'll take the more on that since we are getting value compared to a site like PointsBet. And then I want to go back to one of the earlier ones that we talked about. De'Aaron Fox, we talked about either taking his points or his rebounds. I'm going to take his rebounds, and there's a reason for this, and I'll explain in just a moment. And then we're going to go with his teammate, which was Keegan Murray. For me, I'm going to go with the points plus rebounds for Keegan Murray here at 22.5, because I think I did say we were getting a little bit of value compared to some of these sites, right? We'll go back and look at it again. Yeah, he's at 23.5 on PointsBet, 23.5 on FanDuel. So I'm going to go ahead and take the points and rebounds for Keegan Murray. Now, why am I including De'Aaron Fox at 5 rebounds? Well, we said that De'Aaron Fox has hit 5 or more boards in every game so far this season, right? Here's why I'm doing this as a 3-pick flex, because if De'Aaron Fox ends up with 5 rebounds, big betting favorite to stay under 5.5. So if he lands on 5, and that's a tie or a push, and then these other 2 guys end up clutching up and going over, this flex pick of 2.25x then turns into a 2-pick power play. So if Fox pushes, that leaves these other 2 guys. Let's say they both go over. Hopefully they do. Right? Your 2.25x turns into a 3x. So you get the safety of a 3-pick flex. Let's say I go 2 for 3. I still win a little bit of money, a 1.25x payout. But if things go the way that I hope they do, Fox ties, Halliburton and Murray end up going over, then that turns into a 3x payout instead of a 2.25x payout. So you get the safety of a flex play with the potential or the upside for a 3x payout. So I'm just going to put $20 on this and hope for the best, all right? That's the way I'm going to play it. Just a little 20 on it. All right. If Fox ties, Halliburton and Murray go over, I'm going to get a $60 payback instead of the $45. Now, if they all three go over, then I'll win $45. If 2 out of 3 go over or hit, I win $5. I still win something. So that's why I did what I did. You guys play them how you want to play them, or don't play them at all. It's up to you. If you agree with the things that I've shown you and what we've talked about, well then, hey, we might have ourselves a winning entry there. Appreciate all the new subs. We got Cameron who subbed. We got Frank who subbed to the channel. Jack, thank you for subscribing. Diallo has subscribed as well. Now, this is the Q&A portion. If you guys have questions that you want answered, guys, start leaving them. We'll spend the next 10 minutes or so taking a look at some of your favorite questions, some of your favorite picks, plays, whatever you guys want to talk about, guys, we can do it. If you want to guarantee that I see your question and that it gets addressed and researched here on the channel, on the show, super chat. Use a super chat like my man Don P has done. Thank you, Everyday Fantasy, for the super chat. Let's take a look at what you are talking about. He's saying, before the bumps start happening here, he's liking Clint Capella for 0.5 assists, and he's liking Keegan Murray. We already took Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray for more than 22.5 points plus rebounds. So we've already talked Keegan Murray at length. He says, please review. All right. Hey, you flex. I flex back. So we really only need to talk about Clint Capella. I appreciate the super chat. Thank you for supporting the show. And let's talk about Clint Capella's assists. He's at 0.5. All right. Clint, the big fella, Capella, has dropped a dime now in 4 straight games. It looks like my man Don P, a.k.a. Everyday Fantasy, wants to go back to Clint Capella for more than a half of an assist. So we need at least 1 assist from Clint Capella for this to work out. And he's done it in 4 straight games. So let's go look at this one real quick using the potential assist numbers provided by the NBA Advanced Stats page. Guys, this is free. You do not have to pay for this. If you want to access this information, go to Google. Go to Google. Type in NBA Advanced Stats. And then look at potential assists, okay? That's what we're doing. So we're going to select advanced filters. Then we're going to choose the Atlanta Hawks. And then we click Get Stats, right? And we could go down here and look at how many potential assists per game that Clint Capella has been averaging through 6 games played so far. 1.2. 1.2 potential assists per game for Clint Capella through 6 games. Guys, that's not a very high number. We need 1 assist out of this guy. So what does that mean? That means on the 1.2 potential assists that he has per game, we need him to go 1 for 1, basically. We need that 1 potential assist to convert, or else we're not going to win this pick. So this is like, we'll call it something similar to like maybe a touchdown prop in the NFL, maybe a home run prop in the MLB. It's probably going to be one that's either boom or bust, right? Binary. It's either going to be a 1 or a 0. Now, against Detroit, he happened to have 2 in one game, but typically it's going to be a 1 or a 0. Very binary type of prop. Now, I will tell you this. My man, Don P, has been dropping some gems with his super chat. So if you guys have not been playing Don P's super chat picks, you should have been a long time ago. So let's go take a look here at Clint Capella, get a bigger sample size here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games played. He is 4 for 6. 4 for 6 covering this prop. And just looking at the last 5 games, he's covered in 4 out of his last 5. Now, he played the Toronto Raptors last season 4 times. He had 1 assist against the Raptors in 4 games. 25% hit rate against the Raptors. Last season was last season, but I figured I'd throw it out there and let you guys know what's going on with Clint Capella. 1 for 4. Oh my gosh, get out of here. Anyway, let's go get you a projection here on Clint Capella. Capella projected for 0.7 assists today. 0.7. That's more than 0.5. It's closer to 1 than it is 0. At 0.5 on some of these sports books, he's a minus 135 betting favorite to go over. So there you go. Clint Capella. It's one of those boomer bust type of props, everyday fantasy. I know you come through with those super chats, brother. You pick some weird ones, but I will give you your credit. I will tip my cap. Your super chats, they slap. Usually when you put something in the super chat, they definitely work out. All right. What else are you guys talking about here? How to see, Flacco TV says how to see super chat. It depends. If you're on a computer, if you're on a mobile device, it's different, but the super chats are available on the video. Somewhere on the outside of the frame, outside of the window of the video that you're watching. There's usually like a row of buttons below the video where you can choose to leave a super chat. Let's see, what else you guys are talking about? Egan Bender wants to know, are there not a lot of lines you are liking for today? Well, I think there's a lot of pending news that we're waiting on, Egan, that's impacting the board. What I mean by that is there's a lot of potential injury news, Ja Morant being one of them, Joel Embiid being another one. We're waiting on some news. That's why you see sort of a limited board here so far. So before I speculate and tell you hey, go take Reggie Jackson against the Houston Rockets, I'm gonna wait to see if John Wall's playing, to see if Robert Covington's in or out. So it's early. We'll say that. It's early yet, and we're waiting for some more news to break. Just kind of scrolling through here, guys. I'm just glazing over some of these comments that you guys are leaving in the chat. Jeff is mentioning Kyrie Irving for over 4.5 rebounds. Now, that is definitely not one that I have considered. I'm just picking them at random here. I'm not going to get to everybody's question. That's why I say I recommend you use Super Chat if you have something that's like a hard-hitting, must-have-an-answer type of question. That's where Super Chat helps you out. But Kyrie Irving at 4.5 rebounds, I mean, just taking a quick glimpse at it, last 5 games, he's gone over in 3 out of 5, averaging 5.4 rebounds per game. I'm just going to get you a projection on this. We're going to make this a lightning Q&A here and try to buzz through these as quickly as I can. But yes, 5 rebounds is his projection. He is a minus 145, minus 150 betting favorite to go for more than 4.5 rebounds. So those are some pretty strong odds, right? Pretty strong juice on the over at 4.5. This one I could see getting bumped to 5 rebounds at some point. Like if the bettors out there on these sports books continue to drive the odds up on this, PrizePicks will have to adjust accordingly and bump this from 4.5 to 5. All right. So that's an interesting looking one. He's projected to go over. Strong odds to go over. From that same game, 6-figure D is liking some Kevin Durant to go for more than 1.5 3-point makes. KD is not on the board though. So we can't even talk about that one. Not on PrizePicks. But what I will do is if you can get Kevin Durant for more than 1.5 3-point makes somewhere, he's projected for 2.1 today. He is a betting favorite to go over on a lot of these books here. Minus 154, minus 155 odds. So that may not be a bad look if you can find it somewhere. You're not going to find it here on PrizePicks, however. Just scrolling through here. Ray is like an Alperen Şengün. 30.5 fantasy score. Listen, I took the under on Şengün last night, and it ended up working out for me. It was, yes, this one right here. He was at 32.5 fantasy last night. 32.5 fantasy last night. I took the less, and he ended up with 31.8 against the Phoenix Suns. So this ended up being a 10x payout. I went 5 for 5, playing nothing but fantasy score. Took less on Şengün, less on Wendell Carter Jr., more on Aaron Gordon, Devin Booker, and Kevin Porter Jr. But yeah, he's at 30.5 today, so they bumped him down a little bit, probably after him falling short against the Phoenix Suns. So he's on a back-to-back. So maybe you go less on Şengün. Is that what you're saying? Or you're talking about going for the more? Let's look at it. We'll get you a projection on Alperen Şengün. Where my goons at? Leave a like on today's live stream if you're a goon. Got any goons out there? Let's look at the projections. Guys, if you're looking at fantasy score projections, make sure you're using FanDuel projections because FanDuel scores exactly like PrizePicks when it comes to fantasy score. All right, for NBA, use FanDuel projections. But anyway, we got Şengün at 30.8 fantasy score versus the 30.5 on PrizePicks. So for me, it's going to be a fade. It's just a little too tight, a little too close for comfort. But if you wanted to take the over or even, I mean, more or less on this, I mean, this is looking like about as close to a 50-50 as you could get. That's why I'm going to stay away from it. I'm not seeing enough of an edge for this particular pick. So I'm going to just stay away. You can do that too. It's called fading. Fade it. Just scrolling through here. Draco TV coming through with the super chat. He's saying, what about Trae Young points? What about Trae Young to go over points? Interesting. You should bring him up. Trae Young has been en fuego, on fire. Absolutely hot sauce. Yes, I think Trae Young is in a pretty good spot here going up against Toronto, especially guys, if Fred VanVleet ends up sitting out. He was just ruled as questionable about an hour ago. Some news came out saying Fred VanVleet now questionable for tonight. So if VanVleet's out, I think that's an easier time for Trae Young and maybe even DeJounte Murray. Now, out of these two guys, Trae Young and Murray, I would probably favor the more on Trae Young, the less on DeJounte Murray. Why is that? Well, DeJounte Murray, more of a pick and roll type of player. Not that great of a shooter when compared to Trae Young, right? The Toronto Raptors do a pretty good job at guarding pick and roll players, and DeJounte Murray has actually gone under 20.5 points in the majority of his games. I think he's only covered 20.5 points in like 2 out of his 6 games that he's played so far. So if I were to take the more on either one of these guys, it would probably be this guy. He has maybe the better matchup on paper, being, 3-point shooter. He's kind of more of a shooting guard, where DeJounte Murray plays more of that traditional point guard role. So I would favor Trae Young before I would DeJounte Murray if you're going to take the over or more on either one of these guys. I would actually say maybe consider taking the under on DeJounte and take the over on Trae Young at 28.5. But let's get you a projection on both of these guys while we're talking about it. Got Trae Young today at 28.5 on PrizePicks. He's also at 28.5 on all your sports books out there. Projected for 29.4. That's more than 28.5. Some sites, though, it looks like a lot of these sites, you're seeing some odds, minus 130 to stay under 29 points tonight. So they got him going under 28.5 on DraftKings, under 28.5 on FanDuel. All right, so that's Trae Young. What about his teammate, his backcourt mate, DeJounte Murray? Not Keegan Murray. There we go. DeJounte Murray projected for 19.6. That is less than the 20.5, right? Less than 20.5. Now, another cool thing about this particular prop is at 20.5, you're looking at the highest number you can find when you compare to some of these sports books, right? 20.5 is where he's at in most places, but you're seeing some lines makers out there that have him as low as 19.5 on FanDuel. At 19.5, he's a minus 125 betting favorite to go under. You're also seeing a site like PointsBet. They got him at 18.5, guys. That is 1 to 2 points lower than where he is at 20.5. So I would say out of these two guys, I would think that the less or under on DeJounte Murray at 20.5 looks like a good way. In fact, I'm not going to waste any time. I think this is going to get bumped down to 19.5 at some point. I really do. What did we have before? We had Halliburton for more than 13.5 rebounds and assists, Fox for more than 5 rebounds, and Murray over 22.5 points and rebounds. Let's go back here. I want to build one with Murray. I'm going to go less on his points. We're going to take another Murray for more on just the points, since we already got exposure to his points and rebounds. And then I want to go to De'Aaron Fox. I think I'm going to take no. Let's not go Fox. Let's go Halliburton PRA. Yeah, we'll go Halliburton PRA. He's just been too hot lately. So we'll make another 3 pick, and we'll go with Tyrese Halliburton's PRA, going for more than 34.5. We'll see how this goes. I'll put, $25 on it, flex play. So there's a number of different picks that I have exposure to, guys. Putting my money where my mouth is, right? We'll see how it works out. If you don't agree with these picks for whatever reason, don't take them. Don't take them. All right? If there's something you don't like, don't take it. But if you do like it, ride along. I took the less on DeJounte Murray, and I said that I'm doing that because he is at 19.5. Betting favored to stay under 19.5 on FanDuel. We're even seeing him at 18.5 on PointsBet. I like that. The fact that they got him down at 18.5 means PointsBet lines and makers think 18 to 19 points on DeJounte Murray is his outcome, which is less than 20.5. So good value on that. So there you go. There's another one to consider. So Draco, thank you for bringing up Trae Young's points because it kind of helped me get to a place where I felt comfortable taking less on DeJounte Murray's points. There you go. You guys liking the DeJounte Murray value there? I mean, it's hard not to like the value. AOD says CJ Curry the Don. Appreciate it. Hey, listen, guys, we've been doing giveaways on every live stream. For those of you that are watching right now, if you want to get your hands on a risk-free 2-pick play to win $100 on PrizePicks, here's what you got to do. Make sure you're subscribed, which you should be already, right? Make sure that you hit the like button on today's video. And then when the replay of this video goes up on YouTube, go down to the comments section, leave your favorite pick of the day. One pick. That's all I'm asking. Leave one of your favorite picks of the day. Maybe you help somebody else out who watches the replay of the live show, right? You could. And it also will get you entered in to win a free 2-pick to win $100 on PrizePicks. I know a lot of you guys are out there. Yo, PrizePicks, send me the promo. Airdrop me some promo credits. Yo, I haven't got any promo credits in a long time. I see the comments out there on Twitter. All of you thirsty promo people out there. This is your chance to get yourself a risk-free 2-pick to win $100 in promo credits, all right? Subscribe, like, and then go to the comments section of the replay of this video and just leave one prop that you're liking, and you'll be entered in for your chance to win. So all you promo credit thirsty people out there, this is your chance to get some money in your account. So tell a friend and have them subscribe and like and leave a comment too. And you guys can help each other win. All right, let's take one more pick because we're running out of time here. We've reached about the 1 hour mark here. We've talked about a lot today, gang. Still waiting on a lot of news to break. I got Lenny Snags asking about Giannis Antetokounmpo for rebounds. Well, they're in a blowout game, so you got to be careful with that one, but that may not be a bad look. Tevin, also liking Giannis. All right, 2 people saying Giannis rebounds. Let's go look at Giannis Antetokounmpo's rebounds. He's at 12.5, gang. He's going up against the Detroit Pistons tonight. Let's go use Props.Cash here to make sure we're getting all the info, all the game logs for Giannis, the Greek freak, Antetokounmpo. So he has played in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. So we can look at the last 5 game view. He's at 12.5 on PrizePicks, 12.5 here using Props.Cash. He's hit the over or collected 13 or more rebounds in 4 out of 5 games. That's an 80% hit rate for Giannis, averaging 14 rebounds per game in that span. So things are looking pretty decent here so far. Now we'll take a quick peek last season against the Detroit Pistons. He was just 1 for 4 covering this prop, 25% hit rate, but that was last season. All right, that was last season, so take it with a grain of salt. But so far this season, 4 for 5, doing a darn good job, averaging 14 rebounds per game. Let's also look at the DVP, defense versus position. How many rebounds per game are the Detroit Pistons giving up to power forwards? What type of number are we looking at? Well, we got to go find Detroit. Where they at? They're giving up about 11.5 rebounds per game, gang. That is the 6th most so far in the early stages of this NBA season. 11.5. Giannis needs 13. He's no ordinary rebounder. We'll call him an above average rebounder. So I think there's a chance where he can get more than 11.5, which is what they allow per game so far. All right. We could also take a look at the rebound chances. Talking rebound chances. Now, why is this important? Well, rebound chances are kind of like field goal attempts, right? We need these guys to be in position to grab a rebound. So rebound chances aka rebound opportunities, are crucial in order for these guys to get the rebounds, right? So if you're taking the over on a Giannis prop, you're hoping that his rebound chances are high. Well, I've got good news for you. He's leading the Milwaukee Bucks in rebound chances per game with 19.4. Second, Bobby Portis. Third would be Brook Lopez, but Giannis is by far dominating the rebound chances for the Milwaukee Bucks, 19.4 per game. And again, he's averaging 14 rebounds per game. So I can understand why someone would like to take Giannis for more than 12.5 rebounds. It's looking pretty good here. Looking pretty good. Let's go get you a projection. Taking a look at the rebounds. Giannis projected for 12.6 boards. He is at 12.5 rebounds on all sports books. Now, on most of these sites, guys, looks like a betting favorite to go under, minus 120. Minus 125 on some sites. But there are some sites, there are some places where you can bet props where they're taking the over, like DraftKings at minus 125 to go over, BetMGM at minus 125 to go over. So it seems like the betting public's kind of torn here. They're not sure if they should be taking the over, the more, or the under, the less. So this one's kind of a toss-up when you just look at how the betting public is doing. But that's it, man. That's going to be the last one of the day. Unless somebody has like a last minute Hail Mary super chat they want to throw out there. It's been an hour, guys. Time flies when we're having fun talking props. But we'll be back. Don't worry. We're going to do this every day, Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're not subscribed with notifications turned on, get subscribed so you don't miss out on the conversation tomorrow. All right, slap a like, and when the replay goes up, leave a comment. You'll get entered in to win a 2-pick play to win $100 out on PrizePicks. Shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring. Guys, good luck tonight. We'll catch you in the next one, all right? Peace.